So in this video, I wanted to spend a few minutes talking about this. It's called the Pica-dry Long Life Automatic Pencil. And now I had never seen one of these before a few months ago, and I picked one up after trying to figure out what exactly this thing was. Someone had recommended the Pica-dry, I think in a marker, and I kind of poked around, and I was like, oh man, that's a very interesting design. I hadn't really seen that before, and I bought this, which is essentially a mechanical pencil version of the Pica-dry. These come from a company called Pica. They're made in Germany, and basically it's this kind of strange shaped writing utensil with this long case and then a kind of extended body here, and then this long pipe or whatever you want to call it at the bottom. This one is a mechanical pencil, like you push it and it extends, with a 2mm piece of lead. So it's kind of like a clutch pencil, kind of a mechanical pencil, kind of its own thing. And this company, Pica, they make writing instruments for kind of like outdoor work or handyman type work. This one's designed for working with, woodworking and things like that, where you want a piece of pencil or a pencil that is going to last. And this is supposed to have a very hard, durable lead, harder than a standard pencil, definitely harder than a clutch pencil designed for art. But you don't have to sharpen it the way you do with a wooden pencil or have to worry about it breaking or shaving it down or anything like that. So let's take a deeper look at the Pica-dry. Oh, before I get too far, I bought this from Amazon. I'm sure it's sold a bunch of other places. It cost me about $15. Usually you could find some, maybe like 2 for $25 or 1 for $14, depending on what model you get. I think the markers are a little bit more expensive, but this seemed like a nice entry point into the Pica family. Okay, so it's a two-piece design. You have the pencil and the case. The case is this long, strange-looking piece of plastic. You'll see it has a sharpener at the front, which is very cool because most clutch pencils tend to get dull not quickly, but once they're dull, you need a way to sharpen it, and you can't use a normal pencil sharpener. So they include a sharpening tool, which we'll demo in a second. Thick, strong plastic body. All the Pica-dry stuff has nice big grips, so you have to use it with gloves on. And they always have a beefy clip. You can see this clip is quite wide and very tall, and it has some flex, so you can get it around a thick belt or like a utility belt or around a hoodie or something like that. And then it has these little feet in it, so it has grip here at this bottom piece. But then as you move up, it has grip points at each one of those feet, and you still have a lot of height here. So basically you could have a perfect combination of height here, or distance between these two, and something here, that flexible foot holding it tight so it doesn't rattle around. So it's pretty clever design. And like I said, it's a nice bright green color. I think the markers are yellow and something else is orange. They're pretty easy to identify. This is model 3030. If you're looking, there's the Pica-dry logo. I guess there's the Pica logo, there's the Pica-dry logo, and it has that little bird on it. I don't know if it's a kiwi or what, but it has a fun long beak. Maybe that's a callback to the extended front of the pencil. I'm not really sure. So that's the case. We'll get into the sharpening in a little bit. Here's the pencil itself. It has a plastic body, a lot of grip, and this ring, so this is what stops it from going further in. This is what you pull out, these big grips here. Again, the logo, a little bit of grip area. And this is interesting because I think when you see something like this, you might be tempted to hold it down at the bottom. That's not really how I would say you should use this. I would recommend holding it up here and just being able to draw down below. You're not doing super accurate stuff. It's not a calligraphy pencil or pen. This is for drawing lines on things or marking off areas that you want to cut or something like that. It has this hard lead. It's said to be, I think, 70% harder than a typical lead, which I'm not sure I fully buy. When I write with it, it kind of feels like a normal lead, but it's not supposed to break. And I haven't broken it, I guess, to be fair. And then they do sell replacement leads or graphites, whatever it is, in colors. So if you don't want to stick with a standard graphite, They have blue and yellow and red and multi-packs. So if you prefer to work in a different color, you certainly can. The lead looks like a normal pencil lead. You know, here is a, what's this? Musgrave #1. And they're about the same darkness. So maybe this one's a little darker. So yeah, this is probably a little bit harder, but it's not crazily different. Anyway, the mechanism is very simple. You push it down and it extends. Has a nice firm click. It's a big button. Can't miss it. Has some grip on the top. There's that little, I guess it is a hummingbird. Over here, it looks like a kiwi. Here it looks like a hummingbird. So unclear. Maybe they just like birds. Have to investigate that further. Anyway, it is a push button mechanism. So it's sort of like a clutch pencil because it has that 2mm piece of lead. But when you push it down, the lead doesn't fall out the way it would with a clutch pencil. So I will call it a mechanical pencil. This piece, this big metal piece, is firm and strong. It doesn't move, doesn't come off or anything like that. It's just so you have a full-size piece, full-size pencil rather, that extends down. So if you have to, put it next to a piece of wood or something like that, you don't have any problems getting there. You don't have to hold it at the bottom and have your hand in the way and tilt it. You can kind of keep away from it, I guess. In practice, it's fine. You do hold it a little bit further back than you would, but again, you're not writing your name too much. You're kind of just drawing on things or marking them off. If you pull this off, you'll see no eraser. There's just the holder for the lead, and it doesn't come out because it only holds one piece of lead. It's not like you could put multiple 2mm pieces of lead in this little pipe. You put the one in here, it grabs, that's it. You don't have to worry about it until you want to refill it. It does not come with any extra lead, so you have to buy it more. I think you could probably use any 2mm piece of lead, but Pica does sell them. And even if it's fully hidden, when you click, I guess with gravity, it will come out. So it works fairly well. So no real problems there. It does the job. It's fun. I mean, it's fun enough to use, I guess. I wouldn't use this at my desk. It's too weird to hold, but it looks interesting. And if you have to do outdoor sort of utility work, and it does seem to work well enough. I haven't broken it yet, and we will show how it stays sharp right now. So basically, you have a little sharpener here, and it's a little confusing, right? Because if you extend the lead and you put it here, the lead does sort of poke through. You can kind of just see it poking through there, but if you try to sharpen it, it doesn't want to work. So what happens if you want to sharpen it, you actually have to extend the lead and put it here on this side, just like that. And now you have a little clutch pencil sharpener, and you can make this as sharp as you'd want. Shake it out. Maybe blow the lead out so you don't get a bunch of lead in your pocket if you put this in your pocket. But that's it. Now you have a sharpened piece of lead in your Pica-dry automatic pencil. So I think that pretty much covers it for about $15. I'm not fully sold on this thing, but then again, I'm not doing work like this all the time. So, for me, a standard wooden pencil or a carpenter's pencil gets the job done if I'm doing some outside type stuff or, fixing something, whatever, I need some writing. I tend to use just a wooden pencil or a Sharpie. But if you're doing it all the time, I could see how a pencil that can sharpen itself and it never has to be shaved down or whatever, it has a big piece of lead. So you're getting a lot of writing out of this thing. So again, if you're using it as a professional tool, not kind of just hobbyist playing around, then I could see how this would be handy. It has some nice features like that clip and a big, heavy body that could be used with gloves, whereas a pencil like this is actually pretty hard to use with gloves. So it has a lot of advantages. Again, for me, just kind of a fun, interesting thing, and I'm really glad people are putting some thought and innovation into a mechanical or clutch style pencil, but not something I'll end up using a whole ton, so I tend to be writing at the desk. Anyway, That is the Pica-dry automatic pencil. Pretty interesting thing. Thanks for watching.